ship is to the other. And when you pull the rigging taut, you're going to make something else weak. In other words, you have to have equal pressure both ways. So if you pull the rigging in to make it taut, you're going to bend that mast this way. Well, you don't want to bend the mast, so then you have to have the counterweight rigging going the other way, pull it back again. So it's more apparent when you get a little tiny one like this one that's simple, is these are all tied to come down here, but then to make it taut, you want taut rigging. You don't want it loose and just hanging loose. So then this one is put last, and that's punched down, and then it pulls this back so you have equal
tension.
Pressure.
Yeah, you have equal tension.
Tension both ways. So that becomes a real problem as to where everything goes, and then that you have equal tension all the way through on the plans.
It is unbelievably complex.
Yeah, it is. It is 5 pages. You just
There's 5 more pages.
Oh yeah, you got all kinds of stuff.
Unbelievable.
Here's the various decks and everything, and it goes on and on and on. And it's a wonderful kit. I mean, they do a superb job. The ship model kit was nice. They had a big book on it. I got a great big book on how to build it. It's like a 100-page book on instructions. Here's all the mast. Let's see, there's different facets to it. Here's just the mast alone. Here's all the mast. Now these masts are in 4 parts, kind of like. You go up here, and then when you get to this, the fighting top here, the next one here goes in here and proceeds up, and so on. So they're staggered. So then that's not one piece that goes there, and then when it gets to the platform, one comes out, and then that goes up, and then that repeats again. So it does it 4 times. So it's you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See, that's the way they're configured, and they all got to lean the same way. They all got to be perfect this way, and then the yard arms all got to measure at perfectly right angle. Everything has to be exactly right on this rigging. It is no fun. I'll never build another one like that. It is no fun. It's a nightmare waiting to fail. And I build it better than the one I saw in the restaurant. I got the idea that they had a nice one in a showcase, and I really got all fired up to build it. And I built it even better, but in defense of the guy that built it, he built it to sell. And then obviously he cut corners. He did build a good model, but he cut a lot of corners that I didn't have to because I'm building it for myself. But he built it for sale, so he cut some corners in it. But it was a really nice model. That model's worth a lot of money. There's no question about it. But,
I just like its design. It's just
well,
to look at.
The ship itself is such a historical ship. You know, that ship was better than anything the British had. The design of that ship was such that it could outsail anything of similar size that the Brits had. And the Brits had a big navy, and they had a well-respected navy. But the American designer for that ship was ahead of its time. The way it was built, it has like inner reinforcements crisscrossing inside the hull. The beams inside structurally crisscross in a way that makes that almost invulnerable. Plus, the wood itself was 18 inches thick. They call it old Ironsides. It was solid oak this thick. Like
Holy moly!
Yeah, and it was just, and the Brits had bigger ships, but the bigger ones couldn't sail fast enough to catch it. So what I'm saying is that one could beat any ship of similar or smaller size that could catch it. Any ship that could catch it was going to lose. The only ones that could beat it were these big man of war with 112 guns, and they were too slow.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the theory the Germans used. The Germans built raiders like this that could outrun any British battleship, but blow up any cruiser that caught it.
You need to have the right combination of speed and power.
In other words, the right combination of firepower and speed, and it could outgun anything that could catch it, but it could outrun anything big enough that had bigger guns. And that's what they built, what they call a Ross Spade, a pocket battleship. They were built as raiders. That's what they were designed for. And that's why their ships were so beautiful. That ship there should have had bigger guns on it, but they didn't have the guns ready. Yeah, an old guy used to, I get on the phone and talk Bill, and I said, calm down, get this, that, and the other thing, well, what about this, and I swear to God, I couldn't have finished that without him. Never met him, but I call him up, and the company put him on retainer, and I guess he didn't care, so he lived in Yonkers, New York. Get this thing put back. You keep raising the price on this model, you keep upping the cost of the kit. There's a parts place back in Massachusetts that sells all the parts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I got, these things are all essentially similar in a way. Here's part of the Scharnhorst here. It came from Germany. This is 4 pages of plans here, and this is 1 page. But this is self-evident as what this is all about. You got your hull, okay, and then you got your superstructure, and you know definitively right now this is 1.5 inches in diameter. It looks like this. It's this wide, and so forth. Therefore, you got specific information for anything. And each one of these is built as a project in itself. So you build a funnel as a project. It might take you a month to build a funnel and all the pertinent parts.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can work on this part of the superstructure and so forth. But what I'm getting at is that damn thing, I had nothing to go by. So I didn't know what the measurements was for the bulkheads.
Oh, yeah.
Or I had no clue what shape it was. So, I mean, you're blind as a bat, and I thought, oh, why do they even mess with this stuff? Damn. Able to kind of fake it. In the future, if you build a plank on frame, which is difficult to begin with, you better have the right information. You'll never be able to do it.
Yeah, you need to have a basis.
Yeah. But this German battleship is a fun project. And there's a place up in San Francisco.